Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And I have a wonderful team. God has a wonderful team that helps me out every Sunday. We have Albertina Giuffre, who is our singer. We know her as Tina. We have Oz, who is our practitioner of the day and will be supporting me on the pulpit. And of course, my lovely assistant, Faith. So this is my wonderful team. Today's topic is going to be you and I in unity form community. And so that's all I'm going to say about it for right now. I'll save it for later. I also want to acknowledge the music that we do. Every week we do a song from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver, We Are All One, which will be the second song in our service. We do a lot of music in our church, as most churches do, because it opens the heart, which opens the mind, so that you hear the sermons better. They sink in better, let's put it that way. And also in the service, we will be doing a song from Karen Drucker and another little surprise song as well. So without further ado, let's see. Say hi if you're here, or hello, so that we know that you're here. If you would like to do a watch party, you press the watch party button. It's a great way for you and your friends to attend church together and be able to comment back and forth, and you don't disturb anybody because, you know, you're not here in the room. So do those watch parties. It helps other people find out who we are and what we represent. All right. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God right here, right now, wherever you are, wherever you can go, for God is in all places at all times. It's the one infinite, eternal presence that encompasses all being and creates all being as things evolve. The perfect presence that creates the movement of the tides, that spins the planets, that pumps our blood, that breathes for us, in us, as us. It is all there is. And I know that this presence is here right now, no matter when you're listening, no matter where you are. For it is all there is, and it is us, in us, as us. It moves and rolls forward into a perfect and unfolding reality that we all enjoy. I know that this is good and this is blessed, and we are one with all that is. And for that, I give great thanks, and I let it be so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. This next song is from Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. You know, if she adds any more titles, I'm not going to be able to keep up. That's like way too many. Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. If you know the words, sing along, sing it loud, sing it proud. Nobody can hear you except those people in your house, and they already know whether you sing well or not. So, oh, here we go.
We are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing, for God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it. Yes, we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it.
Oh, truly, we are all one in it. All right. So if you are just joining us, remember to say hi or hello so that we know we have people here. Facebook did this change and we can no longer see who's here. So it's kind of nice if you say hello or hi so that we know we're talking to somebody. At least for me. I need to know I'm talking to somebody. Oh, goodness. Also, if you like something that happens in the service, whether that be song, prayer, words that I say, use that thumbs up button. Let us know. As always, we love to get love. So if something we say or do really, you really love it, send us some hearts. And if something really strikes you and is really powerful for you, there's always that wow button. So utilize the buttons that you have control of, I should say. This next song is that Tina is going to sing is Karen Drucker's song. It sets up the day for us. So without further ado, here is Miss Tina.
My world is not okay when the roadblocks in my way, when I feel so all alone, these words will bring me home. Let love lead the way, let love lead the way, oh, 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 let love lead the way, let love lead the way. When we can't see eyes to eye, no matter how we try, we can find our harmony if we sing along with me. Come on, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. In everything, love comes with a gift and grace. To give and to receive, straight from the heart. way. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh. I let love lead the way. Let love, let love. Each morning when I wake, there's a choice that I can make. In everything I do and say, I'll let love lead the way. Hey, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. Let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Oh, oh, oh. I'll let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way. Oh, I'll let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way. I'll let love lead the way.
Oh, goodness. I can't get everybody up here. There we go. I swear I need to do like horns honking or something, which is a new way to clap for people, I guess. It'd be a lot faster if I could just put a video up of people clapping or people honking horns. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Community sure has changed, hasn't it? Back in the old days when we had a facility, you know, I could talk about what it means to be in community, to meet together and have fellowship. And, you know, we would have breakfast together and, you know, we would have activities at the church. And, you know, it was a lot easier to explain community back then. Today's community is more online. It is more of a feeling and more of a celebration of our unity than it is actual meeting together and doing things together. Unfortunately, I remember one year we went to do skydiving. There was a tower over here, and as a church, we went and we suited up. They gave us this little video on safety, and we suited up, and then we went into these wind chambers. Blah. And it was really funny because, you know, the first time I was in there, I was scared to death. And these little kids are like doing somersaults and, you know, they were just having a blast because they don't have any fear. But we used to do things like that in order for community building processes. And right now, the best that we have is this online community, which, you know, not to put it down, because this is a great way to have community. You know, you can come to church in your jammies all the time. We used to only do it on time change Sundays, but now you can come in your jammies. Well, we can't, but you guys can. So it's always kind of interesting when you start talking about community, you start wondering, what does community really mean? Does it mean a coming together of people? Does it mean a coming together in mind? Does it mean a coming together in heart? Yes, it's all those things. Now, it's really interesting because back in the 70s and 80s, there was this idea of, you know, looking at ourselves and finding out what our feelings were and beginning to honor our feelings. And who knew it was going to blossom into what it is today? You know, I thought it was just the millennials that was, you know, only me. But I'm coming to find out that our society, as a general rule, has moved in that direction. And what's really important about community is that we not only take into consideration our own feelings, but we take into consideration the feelings of everyone else as well. When I look at the people that refuse to wear masks, I don't understand it, because it not only keeps them safe, but it keeps us safe as well. When I look at, excuse me, people post things on Facebook that are hurtful to other people, and it's not just that sure, you have freedom of speech, but I come from a generation, I guess, let's put it that way. I come from a generation where we almost take an oath like the doctors do, first do no harm. And so when I think about community, what I think about is not only am I respecting myself and my own feelings and beliefs, but I am respecting that of the other people that are in my world, whether that be in my personal life or that be the global world around me. That's one of the reasons that I really am trying to go global with my message, because I really want anyone from anywhere to be able to be uplifted and inspired by the messages of religious science, by the idea that God is everywhere present and God is in and through every person, and that is simply all there is to life. And so as I think about community, I have these wonderful little things I want to put up here, if I can find them. So the first thing is, when you look at the word community and you look at the unity part of it, you see you and I in community or in unity form community. Then if you look at, I'm trying to get that up. When you look at the word unity, it is part of community. And then finally, you have community, which includes the you and I, and it includes unity. And it is where we have a common unity. That's what I think of as community, a common unity. Now, that means that we celebrate not only that we are made of God, but that everyone else is made of God as well. That we can't look at the world and say, well, that person is not part of us, or that group of people is not part of us, or someone doesn't have the right to do this or that or the other thing, but I have the right to say and do whatever I want. But there's this rugged individualism that came out of the movement that I was a part of, where we started to honor our own feelings. Because back in the old days, before my generation, women just did what they did. They didn't express their feelings. It was an obligation to be married and to do the housework and to take care of the kids. And they never spoke up for themselves. They never even acknowledged that they had feelings about what was going on in their life. And men had the same problem. They went off to work and all they did was, they protected the family and they made a paycheck. And they weren't allowed to have any feelings. And so our generation came up with this idea that, hey, we need to honor all of that. And somehow it grew into this rugged individualism. And what's really true is that we are individuals not because of our rugged individualism or because of our rights. We are individuals because we individualize that spirit of God, that we have taken what God is in us and individualized us in particular to who and what we express in life. So, it's not that a minister has more spirit in them than someone working in a coffee shop, or that, it isn't like that. And it isn't like we have to sit and think about, where are my rights? It's about realizing that everybody should have the same rights. It's about realizing that we keep each other safe. We keep each other in love. We keep each other in a place of peace. And we wish the best for everyone. We don't look at one particular group and go, hey, they're wrong. I don't want them. I don't want them in my life. We don't do that. What we do instead is we recognize that there too is God. And because there too is God, then everybody, every person, every individualized aspect of God, every individualized expression of God has the same power, presence, and life and love as an entitlement, because they are made of that God stuff. And so as I look through all of this stuff that on the news about this this group, hates this group and this group hates this group. I know that the answer to all of this is for us to love ourselves first, actually love God first, love ourselves next, and then love the people in our community, whatever that community looks like. We are one community. The entire world is one community. We have all these little sub-communities that we all participate in. But the truth of the matter is that everything in the world is one community. Every person, place, or thing is all part of that one community. And the more that we recognize that, the less we have issues with people. Because one of the things that the rugged individualism is speaking to me is saying that if I give someone else the right to have or do what I do or have, that somehow that takes away from me. And that's not true. There is no way that you can have anything taken away from you, because God is what you are, and God is how you live, and God is the beingness within you. And how could anybody take anything away from God? It's impossible. We don't believe in a devil because we can't believe in equal powers of good and evil, because they would cancel each other out. And we can't believe in a world of evil, and so we must come to the conclusion that there is only good in the universe, and that is God. God expressing it as each individual being on this planet. And so as we think about that, we need to acknowledge that everyone in the world is an aspect of God. They are an expression of God. And we are one with them in that God presence. So here's the thing. Like, I remember there's this one story a long, long time ago about this church that was faltering. And the minister met with a Jewish rabbi, and they had this conversation about how his congregation was basically dying. They were getting older. There was no new young people coming into it. And they had this whole discussion about what is different about this synagogue that is flourishing in the midst of the same economic difficulties that the church was having. And finally, they came to this conclusion that the rabbi said, the difference for us is that we treat every person as if it was God entering the room. That every time we look at another human being, we think of them as God expressing. And because of that, we are flourishing, because we all of a sudden treat each other better. We all of a sudden give rise to what it means to be a perfect child of God in the midst of all these things that are going on. Now, back in those days, there was only economic recovery that needed to happen. In our day, there's, health and economy and, strife within groups. It's really interesting how much recovery we really need to do as a country. But I look into the world and I see the same thing. I see, China and Hong Kong, going through some of the same things that we are. I see it happening in all of the countries out there. There was an election in France where it looked like the far right party was going to take over France. It looked like the same thing was going to happen in Holland. It didn't, thankfully. But when you look around at the world, you begin to see that all this rugged individualism, this put me first kind of thing, is really keeping us from being able to see the goodness of God in the community that we are living in, whether that be a local community or a global community. And really the acknowledgement that all I see is God is what's really important for us. Because I know that when I look at, I have friends everywhere. It's kind of cool. I went to a retreat years ago, and there was 240 women from 17 countries. And so I proudly now have places to stay in Holland, actually 4 places in The Hague, which is crazy. I didn't even know The Hague existed until I met Tina and the boys, and, and here I've got friends there in London, in Frankfurt, a couple in South America. I've got a couple of them in French Canada. And it's really interesting when I think about all of that, even in Abu Dhabi, of all places. So it's interesting when I think about that. What I realize in talking to these women from all parts of the universe is that we all have the same common interests. We have the same needs. We have the same basic goals in life, and that is to be loved and to express love. And we want to be in community with each other and with the world. And so it's very important that we recognize that all of the things that are going on here in the US are also going on in the rest of the world, and that it's, I think, a leap of our evolution to a higher consciousness. That's what I think is going on. And it's like we have to deal with that lower vibration before we can get there. And so as I look at the news and I see what's going on in the world, I go, yep, there it is, another leap in consciousness to that higher vibration. Because I really feel like that's what it is for us. You know, we had a leap to a higher vibration when we started acknowledging our feelings and working towards being a person with value. We had a leap in our consciousness when we realized that there was a global economy, that there were people out there in the world other than us. And then we had a leap in consciousness when 9/11 came around to notice how in support everyone was of everyone else. It was amazing to watch. And I know that that's what's going to come out of all of this too. It just right now, we're dealing with that lower vibration of hatred and fear. They're in fear. Everyone's in fear. It's like, you know, the people who feel like they're losing power are in fear of losing their power. The people who are coming into power are fearful that, you know, having the Senate be Republican is going to create a divided government and nothing will get done. And so there's all this fear that's being generated. And the truth of the matter is the solution to all of it is the love of God. If we can recognize that there too is God, we can stop the hatred on our level. Remember a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, months ago, I talked about the sea of consciousness, and what we put in it, we leave for other people to be able to pull out of it. So if we're contributing the love of God as the piece that we're putting into the sea of consciousness, then we allow others to be able to draw from that love. So while I'm working on me, I'm providing an avenue for other people to be able to work on themselves and to stop focusing on the other person as the enemy. When I recognize there is no enemy, there cannot be any enemy, because God can't hate God, right? Can you imagine a world where God has an enemy that is God? I just can't even fathom that. And so because we're all made of the same material, the same God stuff, in the image and likeness of God, anytime we love, it is God loving itself. It is God loving God through us, as us. And so when we feel like our rugged individualism is being challenged, what we really need to do is stop and think for a moment about what is the good of the community. You and I, in unity, form community. When we are unified in our ideas of what we want and what we'd like to see in the world, unified in love, then the community prospers and flourishes. When we are not unified, when we're all running around with our rugged individualism and saying, no, I have the right to do this, or I have the right to do that. You can't make me do this because I have rights. When we're doing that, then we are contributing to that sea of consciousness, strife and hatred and bigotry and all kinds of nasty stuff, and we're leaving that behind for someone else to come and pick up. Is that the world you want to live in? It's not the world I want to live in. I mean, one of the benefits of this whole pandemic thing is I live in my house a lot. I don't really go anywhere anymore. And so I have the ability to go, oh, my world is so perfect, until I turn on the news. And sometimes when I turn on the news, I turn it right back off again because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to look at Facebook and see all this stuff. What I want to see is people uplifting and inspiring each other. And what has been really cool in the last probably month and a half, 2 months, is I've noticed not only the ministers in our movement, but the people in our movement have been starting to post things that make you smile, that say things like, it's just real inspirational things. I love this one. Oh gosh, I probably should have pulled it up before. I don't know if I can get to it real quick. Let me see if I can. But it's the kind of stuff that if we just would allow ourselves, well, let's see, it was on Facebook. So if we just allow ourselves to see that what everybody wants is love, and that we are made of that love, and it's important for us. If we can do that, let me see if I can get to my saves. There it is. And I'll pull it up. Yeah, here it is. I love it. I love technology. This is from Pope Francis, and it says, "Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you." That's the kind of stuff. This was somebody in our movement that is not a minister, someone who just, posted this as an inspiration to us all. And it's really true. I mean, when you look at nature, nature is a give and take. Nature, for instance, we take in oxygen that the plants provide, and we give out carbon dioxide, which the plants thrive on. And that's the way nature works. So when you think about our community, that's the way we work too. What I give, you receive. What you give, I receive. And when we do that from a place of love, we create a community of love. And so we let love lead the way, right? Love is really a powerful emotion, but it's also something that is really important in the scope of the world. It is really important for us to recognize that the love of God is something that pervades everything. And an acknowledgement of that allows us to feel that love, allows us to experience that is what the world is made of. Love makes the world go round. It's not the kind of romantic love that we're used to thinking about, or that even that song was about. It's not the romantic love. It is the God love. It is that love that goes beyond all human understanding. It is the love that goes beyond all human understanding of what love is. Smokey, come here. Under there. Be quiet. Sorry about that. One of the drawbacks of this whole thing of, doing online community is you deal with our animals. I have 3 dogs and two birds, and so and a couple of guys that live in my house that are. But anyway, without all the interruptions, life would just be boring, right? So when I think about what's important is for us to recognize that what happens in nature happens within us as well. That the love of God is the important thing. And if we were to act as if every person we meet was God, then we would begin to treat each other better. We would begin to feel better about our reality. We would begin to see that there is a light within each person, no matter what they are, who they are, no matter where they are, that there is a light of humanity or a light of spirit within humanity that shines brighter because we acknowledge it. We allow that to be the thing that comes forward instead of the idea of otherness, instead of the idea of fighting for our rights, which we think are being challenged or taken away, or any other thing that you can think of. It isn't about that. It is so about recognizing that there is nothing to be taken away. Because as a child of God, nothing can be taken from me. Nothing can be removed from that God experience. The only thing that can take me out of God is me. When I take myself out of God, that's when I start experiencing all of the devastation and all of the hatred and the fear. And then I contribute that into the sea of consciousness. So this week, I'd like us to practice seeing God in each person, to recognize that what makes life worth living is that common unity. You and I, in unity, create community, form community. That word is very powerful when you consider what it means to all of us. To have a place or a group of people that we can belong to, and that group belongs to a greater community, and that all of that is God. So let's have a prayer. In this moment, I become aware of the knowingness of God, the love of God. All is God. No matter where I look, no matter where I sit, no matter where I sleep, all there is God. All there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. It is in this awareness that I find myself, my very essence, my very life, my very being. For it is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that one infinite power of God, that one infinite life of God that flows through us. I know that to be so for God's team that I have the privilege of managing. For Oz and Tina and Faith and Lynn. For we are one in the sight of God. We are one in the power of God. We are one in the life of God. And everything that we think, say, and do as a team is guided and led by that same infinite power, that same infinite presence that is God expressing in individualized nature. I know this same truth to be so for every person that is watching us, whether it be in real time or later. For there is no place that one leaves off and the other begins. We are one life, one power, one love, one being. Only God. We are one. And so in the Native American tradition, Mitakuye we are all one. I bless this coming week because I do know that we have more and more experiences of the one and less experiences of the perception of separation. We have more and more experiences of the individualization of God and less experiences of the individual, the rugged individualism that keeps us from experiencing that oneness, that sets us apart from each other. I bless this week because I do know that God is all that is expressing through each person we come into contact with, whether that be in person, over the phone, over the internet, over the news, over the TV, anywhere. I know that we have more and more beautiful expressions of God showing up in our world as we focus our attention and intention on seeing everyone as God, seeing each person as that individualized expression of God. In the beingness of life, I claim this also for any name that is in the ministry of prayer today, because I know whatever situation or condition they are experiencing, underlying that is the essence of God, the power of God, the proof of God, the life of God, and the love of God. And so I pull back the veil and I reveal that truth of God here and now as the truth of life. And I vanquish those conditions back into the nothingness from which they came, because truth revealed is God revealed. And so I claim it for them right here, right now, in their names. I call it good and very good, and I celebrate it. As my heart fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to be of service in this way, I just fill my heart with gratitude, and I just let it be. And so it is. Whew, goodness gracious. It gets harder and harder for me to come back from these prayers. All right, so right now is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have received already in form and that which you have created in the mind of God but have not yet experienced in physical reality, physical form. But it is also your chance to participate in our message getting out into the world. It is what we focus our attention and intention on, is that we want to uplift and inspire the world, one person at a time. And so when you are participating, when you are contributing to that vision, you are part of the bigger picture. You have entered in, you have participated in that bigger picture yourself. And so right now, Faith has put on our webpage, oasiscsl.org. If you will click on that, whether you are doing this in real time or later on, you can do it with us. In the middle of that first page is our offering affirmation with the Contribute Now button right below it. So I'm going to ask you in a minute for us to do the offering affirmation together. So we are blessing the gift that we are giving. But I also want to celebrate you for making that contribution, because I do know that what you give is returned back to you tenfold. So here we go. You ready? Go to oasiscsl.org. In the middle of the page, there's the offering affirmation. Say it with me now. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. Here's Tina.
What would it be, and would you call it to his face? If you were facing him in all his glory, what would you ask if you had just one question? Yeah, yeah, God is great, yeah, yeah, and God is good, yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a star like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. God had a face. What would it look like? And would you want to see? See it that you would have to believe. In things like heaven and in Jesus and the saints and all the prophets, and yeah, yeah, God is great, yeah, yeah, God is good, yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a small like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make its way home. Trying to make its way home. Back falling on the floor. Except for the pump, maybe no. And God is great, God is good, What if God was one of us? Just a slum like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. Trying to make his way home. Like a holy rolling stone, back up to heaven all alone. Just try to make his way home. Nobody's falling on the floor, except for the broken in the
That's what I should do, is take a video of us clapping like this and then just post that up.
Oh, no. Can we have some real things alive here? No honking. No fake clapping. Fake laughter. What's next?
Laughter. I know. Laughter, honking, clapping. It's all different now. Thank you, Miss Tina. Oh, goodness gracious. I was looking at the comments while Tina was singing. We have someone from Brazil here. I think that's really cool. And someone asked me why I'm coughing. I've been being treated for a fungal infection in my lungs and my sinuses. So it's still moving out, but it's taking a bit. I'm doing a lot of detoxing. I'm doing my Hockett sessions. And I'm doing ionic foot baths, and I'm doing TRT at my chiropractor's office, and drinking lots of water and taking a bunch of herbs. And, we're getting rid of it, but it does take time. So that's why I'm coughing. Okay, let's see. We have a wonderful ministry of prayer, as I've mentioned a couple of times, where you can tell us anything you want prayer for. So put that in the comments section. If you don't want to do it publicly, you could message us and we will pray on those requests every day for a week. We have this wonderful God Squad that is made up of licensed practitioners from coast to coast, and they are wonderful. So give them an opportunity to pray for you today. This wonderful team of licensed practitioners is available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. So you can contact them, message them, and they'll set up a way for you to pay, and then they'll set up a way to connect up with you either through Zoom or Facebook Live or however they need to do that, or video chat in Facebook. Anyway. I also want to let you know that our Wise and Powerful Oz is available for our 1 minute miracle. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can share whatever challenge you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. And he does this by video chat, so you would reach out to him by video chat. If he doesn't answer right away, it means that he's on with someone else, so please give him a few more minutes and try back again. As I said, if you would like prayer for something, put it in the comments section, and we will put it on the prayer list. We have this private group page for the God Squad. And so we put all the prayer requests on that. No one else can see it but the God Squad. So take advantage of that. If you would like to participate on our God Squad, it is not a requirement that you are a licensed practitioner, but you do need to be willing to do positive affirmative prayer every day on those requests for a week and follow through on that. So if you would like to participate in our God Squad, please say yes in the comments, and Faith will add you to our God Squad page. And if you would like to receive information before anybody else does about our community, our online community is actually a Facebook group that is a public facing page. And so I post things there before I post them to the general public. So if you would like to do that, type more in the comments and Faith will add you to that group as well. Let's see, bracelets and mala beads from Brooks and Bailey. The proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. All of this, by the way, is in the comments. Faith is very good about posting all of that. But how you would reach out to her is brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com. I have a couple of bracelets from them. They're so cool. I love them. And then also I want to let you make you aware of Brooks Limited. She has wonderful one-of-a-kind clothing. She makes really unique masks. Some of them actually have bows and stuff on them, but she sends me masks and they're all different fabrics and beautiful fabrics. She only uses the best fabrics. All of her designs are one of a kind. Take advantage of that. She really is very talented. I love her stuff. My mom used to buy me a bunch of her stuff. Reach out to Karen Drucker by her website and purchase the songs. The one that you heard today is from the Joy in the Heart, I believe. Oh, gosh. Let love lead the way. There's one from the Spice Girls, too. Interesting. I did not know that. Let love lead the way. That might. Joy in Our Hearts. It's from the Joy in Our Hearts CD. She has gifted us with her entire collection, and we like to support those that support us. So go ahead and buy either a song or a CD. She has songbooks that have the sheet music and the words, the lyrics, and in some cases have the American Sign Language signing for you. And so let's support her. We do tithe to her, but let's support her anyway, the other way. Okay. Elaine's music also, Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. And she has a website as well, but her website, she's not able to update it. So you're going to have to reach out to her by email to find out where to send the money because it doesn't work quite as well as just order it and go. And then, of course, check out our website, oasiscsl.org. We have the video sermons that we're currently doing on there, and we have past years' audio sermons as well. All right, let's move into our I Am So Blessed song, another one of Karen Drucker. And let's sing it together. Again, sing it loud and sing it proud so that you get into the feeling of being blessed.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And I know that we are all one. The unity of God shines through each and every one of us. That same living source for me is the living source for you and the living source of all that is. And for being part of that, I give great thanks and enjoy its blessings. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, goodness. Here we go. All right. So thank you for being with us today. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're blessed to have you with us. So thank you for being here. Thank you also to my wonderful team. I have the most awesome team in the world. So I am so blessed to have you in my life. And so stay safe, wear a mask, join us next Sunday and every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time for our services. We love you. Have a great week. Bye.